Generic greetings and welcome to Preview plus Blood Bowl 2. This is a mix between American football and fantasy races, so Orcs, Elves, Undead, that sort of thing. It's based on the Games Workshop board game of the same name, Blood Bowl, which in itself is set in the Warhammer world, so you will have a slant on these generic fantasy races. So you have Skaven, which are rat men, you have lizard men, which are lizard people, that sort of thing. Now the original Blood Bowl game and the concept and idea and gameplay of Blood Bowl I'm very familiar with. I've played the original board game many times. The first series of computer games, which consists of Blood Bowl, Dark Elf Edition, which is actually more like a patch, it's really confusing, let's just skip over that one, Blood Bowl Legendary Edition, and Blood Bowl Chaos Edition, I've played a little bit of, let's just say just a tiny bit. In fact, just to put it in perspective, I've played 120 hours plus on Blood Bowl Chaos Edition alone, so the actual idea, gameplay, etc. of Blood Bowl, I'm aware of. I am very familiar with how it works, so obviously looking forward to Blood Bowl 2, but the thing is, it was a bit weird because I'm generally immune to the whole hype thing, and I try not to read too much about games that are coming out because I like to play a game and, you know, just that's basically my own thoughts and impressions from what I've played rather than what other people have read. I don't like it being tainted by what others have read and said about it, but obviously you can't cut everything out, and everything I did read about it, I put them into two columns of things I liked and disliked, and honestly it was a 50-50 mix up until release, and I've played a bit of the game now, enough to, you know, get my thoughts and feelings down, but this is certainly a first impressions, not a review. I want to make that perfectly clear. I've played a couple of missions of the campaign, several games in League, or a couple of games in League, should I say. Haven't played online yet, but I have watched a couple of games on the Cabal TV option, so you can actually watch games live, which is fairly cool. But either way, enough for this to be a serviceable first impressions, but that's all it is, not a review. As I said, I want to make that perfectly clear. So, let's just jump in. I'm going to show you a little bit of league play. I'm going to show you creation of a team, creation of a league, and then a bit of the on-pitch game. Now, I don't know how much you're familiar with Blood Bowl. I don't know if you played Blood Bowl loads or you haven't played it at all. So I'm going to assume you don't know much about it, and I'll explain in sort of the best way I can how the game is and how it works, etc. Because that's generally what these videos are for. So, let's just jump in. Also, one thing to note right now. I only feature games on this channel that I like, right? So that's just a general rule of thumb. I've pointed this out several times. But I'm too close to Blood Bowl. When I was playing this, I was aware that I was being overcritical, and I was thinking, oh, I don't like this, and that sort of thing. So if I seem overcritical in this, then understand that, yes, I might be overcritical in certain points, but the TLDR is that I do like what I'm playing, alright? But it's just because I'm too close to it. Like I say, I've played so much of it, I can spot every little niggle that I don't like, rather than just going, yeah, and seeing it as a rather a big issue, a global concept, rather than the little nitty-gritty bits. Anyway, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to stop rambling. You can see I'm currently logged in onto my Stuff Plus account. You can create multiple accounts, which is something I wasn't too fussed on when I first saw that. You have to actually create an account, which I thought, well, if you're on Steam, just use Steamworks. But for some reason, you have to create an account, and all of your saves and stuff are tied to that account. So if I go to play in a league, you can see that there are no teams there, even though if I log out, there will be teams there because I've played all of the stuff that I've mentioned earlier when I wasn't logged in, which means it's saved locally, but you only have access to that when you're not logged in, which is a bit weird, but whatever. So we're going to create a team. We need to select between 8 teams. So we've got humans, we've got orcs, dwarves, Skaven, high elves, dark elves, Bretonnians, which is actually their first digital outing, chaos, and back to human. As I said, you've only got 8 teams. The original Blood Bowl, I think, only had that one, but Chaos Edition, the latest edition before this one, has 23. So it's a massive, huge sort of cut out of all the teams, especially teams that you would think like Undead, which should be standard, which you go, some people are not going to like that. In fact, that's my main issue with it at the moment, to be honest with you, that there's very few teams. You can get a couple more teams. There's Lizardmen and Wood Elves as of the time recording, which you got one of them as a pre-order bonus, but as of yesterday when I read the announcement, there was a thing saying that if you pre-ordered it, you're actually going to get both. If you ordered it on day one, or you bought it on day one, you're going to get one of them, but if you ordered it from another vendor, you have to fill in a form. If you ordered it via box copy, you have to do something else. Basically, I have no idea what's going on. It was a complete cluster before this thing, it's a complete cluster afterwards. It's a complete, not a nightmare to work out exactly what's going on with the teams. TLDR, some of the teams, well, all the teams from here on in are going to be DLC. You're going to have to buy them separately. Deal with it. You're either going to like that or you're not. You know, whatever. So I'm going to select the Chaos team because I like doing a bashy team, and for this, you know, it's easier to show a bashy team. So we're going to do that. It shows you a skill level, shows you the strengths, weaknesses, things like that. So, you know, for new players, that's quite good. Let's go to next. We need to select a team name. So we're going to go for Chaos Destroyers. Our motto is kill. 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 There we go. We cannot select our colour for our jersey, but we can select... Well, we can select our jersey, which changes the colour like that, as you can see. But we can't... In the original Blood Bowl, you could select your 2 colours, but you can't in this one for some reason. But there's enough colours here to be serviceable. I'm just going to go back over because there's one that's called Necromunda, so I'm obviously going to have to pick that one because Necromunda is awesome. It's weird because Necromunda is pretty much now the only franchise, as far as I can tell, or the only game setting that hasn't been digitised. So, you know, even Man of War has been announced that they're going to do that, which is a really, really old Games Workshop ship, like a ship as in on the waters type board game. Battlefleet Gothic is coming out. We've had Space Hulk, obviously Blood Bowl. We've got Total Warhammer. We've had Dawn of War, which is 40k, and loads of other 40k games. Pretty much everything apart from Necromunda, which technically is 40k setting, has been released. So yeah, I'm sure that will come out eventually. But you know, in lieu of that, we're going to go for Necromunda there. So hang on, that's spelled wrong. Hang on. Chaos Destroyers. There we go, we've spelled it right now. And we'll go to next. Ah, team name already used. Okay, this is another problem that I have with it. Even though I'm going to be playing this only in solo, because this is technically always hooked up, always sort of connected, any team name that I register, because the next one of the options later on is to register it for online play, I have to be able to have an open name. So the name has to have never been used, which is problematic because I've played the Chaos Destroyers. It's one of my biggest teams in the original Blood Bowl Chaos Edition, and I really want that name, but I can't because someone else has got it online. But if I don't log in and just use the soul, if I just don't log into my account and just play offline, I can have the name. I don't understand that. Let's just go for Chaos Killers because that's close enough, isn't it? Of course, that's been taken. Right, okay, I was trying to be fancy. We're going to go with the old standard. Generic Chaos team. Done. Done and done. Please don't say that's taken. It isn't. Okay, so we need to select our stadium. So we've got the Under Empire, which is Skaven, which looks really cool. We've got the World's Edge Mountains, which is Dwarf. We've got the Nagroth, which is actually the... Is that the Dark Elf? Yeah, that's Dark Elf. Old World, which is your standard pitch, and then you've got the Badlands, which is Orcs with all the grass that needs watering. We'll go for the Old World one. We're going to call it Generic Stadium. There we go, and we'll create that. So, it's asking me if I want to have the computer buy all of my team, which again is really good for new players because it'll then just buy their team for them. But I don't want to do that. I want to show you it. So we can see we've got these like sort of football cards in the middle, which shows the players we can buy. So every race, every faction, whatever you would like to call it, has their own different players, and each player has a set of abilities and a set of statistics. So MA, you can see it on the right hand side there, that is, MA stands for movement, that's how many boxes they can move. ST, which is strength, the higher the better, that's used for when you punch people or when they punch you back. AG is for, well, that's agility, and that's used for dodging and getting out of the way. AV is armor value, that's used for when you get punched or when you fall over, so obviously higher the better for all of these. You also have a series of skills. If I just click on the Beastman, we get a little picture of there. We can see we can actually change the name, we can change the head, things like that, and obviously different horns and stuff, so there's a lot of detail there. It shows you horns. If you mouse over it, if you're not sure what it does, it actually says a player with horns has +1 to his strength for any block he makes during a blitz action. Quite easy to understand, assuming you play Blood Bowl. If you don't know what that means, if you don't know what a blitz action is, then I'll explain later. It's really confusing. So it also shows you what skills they can pick from for general, strength and mutation is standard, and agility and passing on doubles. So there you go. Right, we're just going to go back and we're going to buy. Chaos Warriors are slightly different. They're slightly slow, but their armor value is a lot higher. You can see it's actually, it's not a lot higher, but it's 9. The average armor is 8 generally. That's what you generally class as average armor. The average movement is about 6. The average strength is 3. Average agility is 3, if I can speak. So there we go. Chaos Warriors, they're fairly hitty, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. You can only have 4, as you can see. It says 4 of 4. We need a minimum of 11 players. You have to be able to field 11 players on the pitch. So when we're creating our team, you have to buy 11 players minimum. And we need, well, we have a maximum of 16 players. I'm going to buy Beastman up to, I think we'll just go for the 11, to be honest with you. We'll just go for that one. So we've got a standard 11, and we'll confirm the purchases. So now we get to pick our staff, or it's not really staff, it's more staff and I guess you would call permanent inducements is a better way of saying it. We got rerolls, so I'm going to buy 2 rerolls. You can also buy an apothecary, which is used for when you get hit. I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to buy a 3rd reroll. Rerolls will double once you start. Just bear that in mind. So there's 60,000 now. You do have 1 million gold crowns or generic credits to spend on this. Obviously, I'm going to spend all 3 on team rerolls. So we've done that one there, confirm that one, and there's our team. We can see the team roster. We can click on that. I like the way that they're presented in these football cards. Very, very, very well presented and very well done. I really like that. We can stick staff. There you go. We've got the club. Hang on. With loads. Club, it shows you our stadium, our sponsor, things like you can sign sponsors. There is no contact signed at the moment. Blah, blah, blah. You can do that. We're just going to back that up. You know, a lot of flavour in that, a lot of flavour. So there's our team, that's good. Now we're going to join a league. Now this is where, as I said, it selects, you can say if you want to join a multiplayer league or a solo league. I don't know why it doesn't ask you that at the start. I guess it's because I don't know if this is true, but you might be able to transfer them or not. I think once you've played them, you might be able to transfer them, but I'm not entirely sure about that because, as I said, I haven't played multiplayer. Either way, I'm going to click solo, and then we need to select the league. So we can go all the way up to like a proper round robin, different phases, sort of knockout system where we can change it. We can actually alter these ones. There's a lot of customization in there, or we can go for a standard, just a cup, right, which is basically a knockout, you know, one group, single lead, single knockout competition. It's a knockout format. Team is limited. When it loses a match, the winner of each match continues to the completion, and the loser is out. So the original, well, the way I like to play it is like in Chaos Edition, where you play through, and it doesn't really matter whether you win or lose, and you go through the different stadiums. That just isn't in this, which is, again, a huge downside. You can sort of make it up with the custom league, but it's not the same. It really isn't. Either way, we're going to go for a cup. We'll create that cup, and we're going to be versing. You have joined a competition. Okay, it looks like we're on a knockout here, and we are versing the Skaven, which is interesting. So we're going to start that match, and yeah, we'll go for that one there. Can't select my difficulty, which is interesting. It looks like they're going to go for inducements, so they're selecting different inducements from petty cash. I don't have any petty cash. I'm just going to say next, and we'll go from there. They've gone for a Bloodwiser Babe, which gives them bonuses to rolling, plus 1 modifier to knockout rolling. Yeah, that's okay. They've used petty cash on that one probably. So there we go. So yeah, as I said, we're loading in, and I don't know why we can't select the difficulty. And when you actually do like a friendly match, as it were, right at the start on the main menu, you can actually select your difficulty. It doesn't seem to be any option for this here. So here we go. Good day, sports fans. The generic stadium, that's where we are. Cool. So this is my stadium, as you can see, very, very detailed. Versus. So it's the generic Chaos team versus, there we are there. Look, there we go. Oh, that's pretty good. Coach stuff plus myself. Generic Chaos team. Nice, that looks pretty cool. I like the way that the camera goes, you know, from right to left, and you can see the entire team. Let's have a sip of beverage. Today's beverage is freshly squeezed orange juice. It's not freshly squeezed by me, you understand. It just says that on the on the carton, and the warp stoners. So there you go. Ooh, Skaven, really, really cool. And we're going to press escape because we don't really need to do that. And now the Goblin Ref's going to flick the coin, and we'll see who gets to pick up. Well, it's set to choose their setup. So it looks like they've chosen whether attack to offend. They're going to go for a. They're going to receive. So basically, I set up first, and they get first turn. So it looks like they've got. Ooh. They've got a Rat Ogre. They've got a Storm Vermin, which is a bashy guy, some linemen, and they'll have some Night Gutter Runners back here. There's a gutter runner, and there's some thrower. As you can see on the right-hand side, that's where all of their stats are. So I can move people around, so we can go for Crushing Jaws or a Catastrophic Charge, which is not good. And you can see all the players move over there, and we can go for Crushing Jaws again. It's just going to move it back to there. I think we will wait, and there we are. So we need at least 3 people on the line. I'm going to move a Beastman over there, and we'll confirm that. You have to double-click. So you click once, and then you basically say there, and then you click OK to confirm it. You basically have to double-click to do it. I'm going to split these guys off, so we're going to pull a lineman back there. I'm going to, not a lineman, a Beastman. A Beastman further forward, and a Chaos guy further back. There we go. And then we'll click on that guy, move him around. I want to split these off. I don't really want my biggest guys at the front because they're just going to get bashed in the face. And we'll split these up here. There we are. Actually, what I'll do is I might as well put a couple of my big hitters on the front just to support that line. See, the thing is, they're going to be bashing me in the first turn, so there's no reason for me to stand around and get hit. So what I need to do is make a fairly decent line because these are the Skaven, which means they are really, really slippery. And I don't really want them to get past me because they might get past and score, which is obviously not good. So that's about right, I think. Bit of a hole in the centre, but we just have to deal with that one. And I think that's about right. So we're going to confirm setup, and then they will set up their... I said confirm setup. More than 2 players. Oh, right, sorry. You can only have 2 in either side. Yeah, that's right. You can only have 2 in the end zone, on the side zones. Of course, that's standard Blood Bowl stuff. Let's move that guy back here. Yeah, move him further up. Move that guy further up as well. And that'll do us. Okay, so confirm. Job done. So, they're going to set up their team. It's fairly simple. They just quickly rush wherever they need to be. And here we go. So I need to kick the ball. It's going to be kicked from this guy, and I'm going to choose there. Obviously, it can scatter, but here's the kickoff. You can see at the bottom there, it says, "Hey, Jim," blah, blah, blah. Oh, it looks like it's a high kick. Yeah, as I said, at the bottom, you can see there's like little text. That is basically the commentators sort of trying to talk over this. I've turned that off for a couple of reasons. A, I'm trying to talk over the top of it as well, and also I've heard enough of it, and it still doesn't really interest me at all. It doesn't do anything for me. So the ball looks like it's gone high, so they can put someone underneath the ball, which has gone there. I do like the way you get... Oh, and he's dropped the ball as well, so it's now in that corner. So turn 1, they've got 8 turns before half-time. Same for myself as well. They've got 2 re-rolls, as you can see on the top right, and I've got 3 on the top left. Shows you their turn. It's fairly easy to understand with the UI. The UI is very slick, very clean, very nice. On the bottom, it also shows you what's happened as well, like a sort of ticker that goes along. There, looks like they're moving people around to support. Yeah, I like the pop-up where it's like the Spike magazine to show you what's happened. It's like a sort of an announcement. You can also see like a lot of details gone into the pitch. We've got some goblins there holding cameras and stuff. We can actually see all of the players and that sort of thing, which is pretty cool. So anything with a red circle around it means they've acted. Anything with a white circle means they haven't. And they're moving around. Looks like they're going to try and pick up the ball with a gutter runner, and they've picked it up successfully. So there you go. They've got that, and now they're going to hit me. So they've rolled some dice, and they've got some arrows. It's going to be too complicated and too fast-paced for me to explain exactly what's going on. I'll explain that when it's in my turn. But basically, it shows you who's versing whom and what's getting pushed. But yeah, it's based on strength and abilities. Oh, looks like their rat is going for a bit of a blitz. They can only do 1 a turn, and they've rolled a pushback and a knockback, or rather a knockdown, and bang! That guy is hurt. Ow, 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 ow. He's now on the floor, which is not good. So they're going to keep hitting me around here. This is going to just push me around. That's actually going to put me on my back as well. Ow. Yeah. I do like the slow-mo. It's weird. When I first played it, I thought it would get old. But after all the games I've played, I thought, actually, no, it doesn't really. So anyway, my turn. I have 3 minutes. I'm going to click on this player. And when you... Well, any player... They have a white box all the way around to show you how far they can move. As I said, it's based on their movement, which is 6 in this case. Anything with a dice in, you have to roll a d6. That's a 6-sided dice for people who don't know what d6 is. You have to roll a dice. And on a 1, you fall on your ass, and then it's a turnover. That's called a fumble. When you mess something up in the game, it's called a fumble, and it immediately goes to their turn. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this guy, and I'm just going to order him to stand up. Okay? So that's going to be his action. Once you move off a player, you cannot go back. So I'm going to click on that guy, and we'll say stand up. We'll stand that guy up as well. And what I want to do is get around the ball. That is my main priority at the moment. So how am I going to do that? I need to get around that guy. First things first, I guess, is to move these ones in around here. So I could go all the way around there. That is going for it, though. It shows you the % chance of it working out, which is quite high. I'm going to move this guy all the way around, and we get a little zoom down and run around. As I said, the actual zoom-ins and the slowdowns doesn't seem to interrupt the game. It seems to be quite well done in that sense. I want to move... I really want to get that guy out of the way, but in order for me to do that, I need to blitz him. And if I do that, it's a 17... I have to dodge from there to there, which is actually a 17% chance, which is not going to work out at all. What I'm going to do instead, I'm going to get this guy in here. Okay, out of that guy's tackle zone, because if I get in there, I'm just going to be... You do not want to get in base contact with that rat ogre. It's strength 6. It's got a prehensile tail, which means you can't really dodge out of the way of it. It's really problematic. Either way, what I'm going to do now is start to punch people. Click on this guy here, and then hit him. You can see when you mouse over, on the left-hand side, it shows the guy that I'm hitting with, and the guy I'm going to hit it. Like, I'm going to be against, and it shows you how many dice above him, how many I'm going to roll. So I'm going to roll this dice, and we'll confirm that. So we're okay. I've got a push back, and both down. So both down, as you can see on the right from the Cabalvision, it shows you what's happening. So again, from new players, it's pretty good. I'm going to go for a pushback, and I'm going to push that player over there. Okay, so I'm going to actually push my player further forward. I'm going to follow that one, and bang, we push each other around there. That's fine. I'm going to go for this guy, and I'm going to keep pushing around. So I'm going to keep batting his his gutter runners, because I really want to get them down. There we go. That's good. Defender down. The defending player's pushed down. I can re-roll it, which is shown on the top left, but I'm not. I'm just going to bat him down, and I'm going to push that guy further away to there, and I will follow it up. But, oh, take that. He actually uses his horns as well, which is fairly cool. Nice. Right, so it looks like he's gone face down. Oh yeah. Nurgtuk is face down. That's good. Right. So this Chaos guy, I'm going to hit him. As I said, I'm just going to try and take them all out as much as I can. That's a perfect roll. We'll push it further towards their lines, and we will follow it up. Again, I'm just trying to get my... Bang! Get down. I'm just trying to get my higher strength guys further forward, you see, because obviously that gives me advantages. And, oh, that's both down or a pushback. I'm not going to re-roll it because you generally don't want to waste your re-rolls on that one. I'm going to stay where I am because I think that's fine. This guy will hit the one in front of us. This is a Storm Vermin, so he does have block. So that will be me going down. So it's going to be just a pushback. I think we'll take that. We'll push him forward. And again, we will follow it up. So there we go. Job done. So I've only got a couple of players left. This guy is going to run into there, as you can see. Alright, and then this guy, my Chaos, is going to blitz him. So you only get one blitz, so we're going to go for there. And here we go. So it's 2 dice, and... I've got Defender stumbles, but he doesn't have dodge, which is good. So Defender stumbles, and I'm going to push him further away. And what I'm going to do is follow it up, because after a blitz... Bang! Get some. There we go. After a blitz, you can continue moving. So I'm going to go to there, and then I'm going to go a little bit further forward, and then get that guy in base contact. So now he has to dodge out of me to move out of the way. So I think that's going to be my turn. No other players to basically do any actions with, and end the turn. So you can see, it's fairly simple if you know what you're doing. The problem is, how do you know what you're doing? Well, generally, if you're like me, you will have played many hours of it and through trial and error, or you've grown up with the game. There is a campaign which goes through like a human team, and looks like that guy's batting me. Oh, both down. So that guy looks like, what's happened here? Oh, fantastic. Oh, that is amazing. That is great. I like that. What happened there? I'm going to skip that. Right, I'm going to have to just move past this. I'm going to explain what happened. So, it hit me. He rolled 2 dice, and both of them showed both down. He tried to re-roll that, but because his rat ogre has got Loner, he failed the re-roll, because that's one of the things. Because he failed the re-roll, let me just get that guy in here. Because he failed the re-roll, he had to pick both down. We both went down. My guy got knocked out. I had a choice to use any inducements like an apothecary, which I didn't have, which means I could only skip it. And then, because both were knocked down, I got knocked out, he went down, and that's classed as a turnover. It's really confusing unless you know what to look for. I'm going to go for a bit of a block here, which is 3 dice I choose. The reason it's 3 dice is because of the strength, and I'm only going to go for a pushback because that's really all I need. It's going to stay where he is, so this guy's going to get pushed into the crowd, which means that the crowd will actually kick the crap out of him. There you go, a bit of football hooliganism, never hurt anyone, and actually it did, and it's going to land there, which actually landed on my Chaos guy. He had a chance to catch it, 17% chance. He failed it. I have a chance to re-roll it, which I'm not going to, and then the ball's going to bounce all over the place, and then it's landed there. So that's actually worked out in my favour, not bad. So what am I going to do now? Well, it's a Chaos team. I'm going to start bashing things around. So we're going to go for that one there. We're going to bat him back. We're going to follow it up like this. Follow, follow, follow. Bang! There we go. I really like that. Cool, cool, cool. And it looks like he's stunned, which is even better. Right. As I said, if you are not really sure exactly what's going on, then... Oh, we'll not do that. It can be quite difficult to understand what's going on. But basically... if you play the campaign, the solo campaign, that might give you a little bit of a sense of what's going on. You would think that the reason to put that in would be to introduce new players, but it doesn't. You still need to know the game, and I think the biggest flaw for new players is learning the game. There is a button, if you press escape, you can go to the main guide, but it is pretty much just a rule book that you have to read. So new players, you would think they'd really focus on, and although there's been some effort made, it's not, I don't know if it's there. Really don't. What I'm going to try and do is get a cage around this ball. I've sort of got a mini cage at the moment. I just need to get that Ratman out of the way. I don't really want to hit him, but I guess Because if I hit him and it goes onto the ball, it's going to be problematic. What I'll do, I'll get this beastman to move into... Actually, I'm going to get that guy... I really want to hit him there. Can you hit him? Yes, he can. 2 dice. That's good. Push him to there. Not follow it up. Okay. The thing is, once you've played a bit, you will understand... Ooh, for some reason that lagged out a bit. You'll understand, like, you know, the actual strength. Basically, when people are in sort of base contact, you gain, like, bonuses for defending and strength and things like that. And it's actually the biggest flaw of the original game because it's so confusing to work out. The computer game just completely streamlined it, and that's the biggest advantage the game has. And the fact that you can play it, you know, single player. So what I want to do, I want to get this guy to... That's a blitz for some reason. Why is that a blitz? Don't know why it's a blitz. That is definitely a blitz. I'm going to go for a blitz there. Here we go. And both down, or he goes down. You're going to go for both down. I'm going to push you there. Has he got dodge? I think he has. No, he's got block. So... Bang! It goes down. Oh god, you see the knives on his toes? That is going to hurt. He's gone down, and now I can hit this guy here, which is only 1 dicer. Oh, so that's attacker down. I'm going to re-roll that. Attacker down again. Damn it! So that failed out. I go down, which means I've actually been knocked out as well, which is bad. So even though mine is a bashing team, sadly... I'm not doing much bashing at the moment. In fact, they've got 1 in the penalty box. And if I go over here, I've got 2 in the knocked out box. So I'm actually not doing much bashing at all. Really. Not at all. So it's their team. It's their time to go. But basically, this is Blood Bowl. I was going to, you know, continue it to the end. But to be honest with you, I think you really get the idea of... It looks like he's charged towards me and then failed his going for it roll. And no, he's hitting me and then he's got to push back. Ah, well, that's a shame. He's trying to push me off the side there. And he's I guess I'm going to have to pick that. It's 2 dice in red, which means I choose which dice it is. So he's pushed me off there. And now the football hooligans are going to come back and stamp on my face. And that's a 3rd person off this. Yeah, as I said, I mean... This is pretty much Blood Bowl. This is all you know. I've already featured once as a, you know, I enjoyed a beverage, but this gives you the basics of Blood Bowl. Looks like that guy's been face down because he rolled 2 dice and both of them were skulls, so he goes down. But yeah, that is a little bit of Blood Bowl 2. I mean, obviously, there's things I haven't shown you. I haven't shown you the multiplayer. Obviously, you'll be versing other people. I haven't shown you the campaign, but it's basically the same sort of thing, but you run through like a bit of a story, which is okay. It's fine, from what I've played at least anyway. As I said, the everything that I like is sort of offset with things I'm not a big fan of. So the main thing is, I think, that it isn't really great for new players. I mean, you know, new players, you know, I think they're going to have not a lot of problems, but they're not going to have a smoother sort of transition, I guess, to learning the game. Not really transition, but rather it's going to be quite difficult for them to learn it in some cases. The fact that there's only 3 teams is 3 dice. I'm going to roll. The fact that there's only 8 teams or 10 if you count the DLC ones at the moment is going to be a huge problem because, you know, with the original Chaos edition running still, and people can still play that online. I don't know if that's going to bring a lot of the original people that played that league there. You know, is it going to bring that crowd over? And I don't know what the answer is. Obviously, it looks better. It runs quite well. And honestly, it is quite streamlined, and you know, it is presented very well. But I don't know whether the existing players care or not. You know, I do in some cases, but the thing is, ooh, I'm gonna have to re-roll that one. Yeah, that's better. Like I say, the thing is, what it introduces, I still haven't decided whether or not it's going to be able to bring me moving over. I'm going to play a lot more of this because it's Blood Bowl, and obviously I'm going to. But as I said, it's one of those things where I like it, but there's, you know, things that I'm not, you know, things that I'm not overly keen on. But yeah, either way, there is a little bit of Blood Bowl. TLDR, it's all right. It's all right. It's you know, I guess what I would expect from a sequel, but I would just like a little bit more, but I don't know whether that's just because I always want a bit more Blood Bowl, a bit more in extra. More teams, certainly. I like the fact that the AI is much better, much better. And apparently, I haven't really played enough to experience this personally, but each team has sort of customized AI, so they are based on like the strengths of the team and stuff. But yeah, that's apparently what it is. Obviously, the multiplayer stuff can't really speak for. Apparently, you can sell and buy players in game and things like that. So that might be good for the online stuff. There you go. Little bit of Blood Bowl. Certainly first impressions and all of that one. Links in the description so you can check it out yourself. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. And generic partings.